Good evening, darlings and deviants. My name is Lucy, and I'm just a little loony. And we're going right back into the review of all of the lorcana cards that are currently revealed, going into the Sapphire cards. This is probably one of the longer ones up there with Amber and Amethyst, because we actually, have more cards for this one. And it has some of my favorites, I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty biased of these. So, without further ado, let's get right on into it and start the show. Starting off, we have Flounder, Voice of Reason. For 1 cost, you get a Storyborn ally that has 2 strength, 2 willpower, and 1 lore. I'm gonna go ahead, give this guy 2.5 out of 5 top hats. Top hats is the scoring system because, well, for the obvious reasons. And Flounder is going to be lower on that regard because I don't like the 1 cost 2/2s that much. And I think there's better things you could be doing in Sapphire. But, he has his playability. That's why I'm putting him at 2.5. I don't think he deserves to be at the bottom of the barrel, but he's not that great in my opinion. Next up we have Aurora, Regal Princess. For 2 cost, you get a Storyborn Hero Princess with 2 strength, 2 willpower, and 2 lore. I'm gonna go ahead and say this is another vanilla, just straight up. However, Aurora here, a little bit better than most other vanillas that you get because her shifted form is very good. So I'm gonna go ahead and give her 3.5 out of 5 top hats because 2 lore is great. I think her willpower could be a little bit more. She kind of dies to a stiff breeze, but I think she's a-okay being a vanilla as she is because of her shift form. Just don't try to quest with her if it's not safe, okay? Next up we have Mickey Mouse Detective. For 3 cost, you get a Dreamborn Hero Detective with 1 strength, 3 willpower, and 1 lore, with Get a Clue. When you play this character, you may put the top card of your deck into your inkwell face down and exerted. Gonna go ahead and give this 5 top hats out of 5. I love the ramp archetype. The stats don't matter on this card. You mostly care that he's a ramp spell, but 3 willpower is pretty good, and 1 lore is pretty okay. He's not going to be trading with anything, but he's mostly an action that sticks around and can get you a little bit more benefit. Next up you have Belle, Inventive Engineer. For 3 cost, you get a Dreamborn Hero Princess Inventor with 2 strength, 3 willpower, and 2 lore with Tinker. Whenever this character quests, you pay 1 less for the next item you play this turn. I'm gonna give Belle a 4 out of 5 top hats because of that princess typing, the okay stats, and the decent chunk of lore. That's a lot of good things going for her, and sometimes the tinker matters if your items are pretty good, but for the most part, I think she's gonna just mostly be a princess. Next up is Jasmine Disguised. For 3 cost, you get a Storyborn Princess, 3 strength, 3 willpower, 2 lore. I'm gonna put this one at 3 top hats out of 5. 2 lore is great. The vanilla stats are meh, and she is a princess. But I think there are better princesses fit for this role. Again, she's not that bad, that's why we're putting her at 3. Next up is Aurora Briar Rose. For 4 cost, you get a Storyborn Hero Princess with 2 strength, 5 willpower, and 1 lore. With Disarming Beauty, when you play this character, chosen character gets -2 strength this turn. I think Briar Rose is a much better princess than, say, Jasmine that we just went over. The 5 willpower is big, being able to take a lot of hits is good, and being able to shift into Aurora is also very good. That Aurora name means a lot. The 1 lore we don't really care about, likely won't be sticking there long, and she allows you to trade up trade favorably on your opponent's side of the things with your challenges. I think this one deserves the 4.5 out of 5. Next up is Aurora Dreaming Guardian. For 5 cost, you get a Floodborn Hero Princess with 3 strength, 5 willpower, 2 lore, and shift 3. You may pay 3 to play this on top of one of your characters named Aurora. She also has Protective Embrace. Your other characters gain ward. Opponents can't choose them except to challenge. With the more removal spells getting revealed, such as Dragonfire and some of the other ones we'll go over later, ward becomes more and more powerful. And also, if you have 2 Auroras, can't target any of your things with any kind of spells that just lets you go off, no actions allowed, just keep on going. I think Aurora earns her 5 out of 5 top hats easy. Next up is Maleficent Sinister Visitor. For 4 cost, get a Storyborn Villain Sorcerer with 3 strength, 4 willpower, and 2 lore. Maleficent is okay. 2 lore is okay. 4 willpower is okay. 4 cost is fine. Being able to be inked is good. In the villain deck, there's other things that you'll want to be doing. I'm gonna give this Maleficent 2.5 top hats out of 5. I think she's okay, and this one I feel like the most uncertain about. It's just, it feels weird to give Vanilla's high scores before we know the majority of the cards. I very much could be wrong on this one, but we'll see in time. Next up we have Robin Hood, Unrivaled Archer. For 6 cost, you get a Storyborn Hero, 4 strength, 4 willpower, 2 lore, and when you play this character, if an opponent has more cards in their hand than you, draw a card. And good shot! During your turn, this character gains evasive. They can challenge characters with evasive. I think Robin Hood, this may be, again, I might be overvaluing Robin Hood a little bit, but I think Robin Hood gets a 5 out of 5 from me. He has 2 lore, which is good on its own. But, in addition, he's a card draw card, and he can handle evasive threats. There's not a lot of cards that can handle evasive cards right now. It's either have evasive cards, or spin the removal spell on it. If I'm facing down a genie, I want to have Robin Hood on my side. 5 out of 5 from me. Next up we have Maurice, World Famous Inventor. For 6 cost, you get a Dreamborn Mentor Inventor with 2 strength, 7 willpower, that's a lot, and 2 lore, with Give It a Try. Whenever this character quests, you may pay 2 mana less for the next item you play this turn. It works! Whenever you play an item, you may draw a card. I don't know how good Item Slingers is. I'm not a huge fan of the archetype because we don't have that many insane items at the moment, and you would need to have Maurice and Belle for it to be like super good. On the other hand, 2 strength, 7 willpower, 2 lore? That's kind of just good on its own. I'm gonna put Maurice at a 3.5 top hats out of 5. I would need to see more items to see if Item Slingers becomes viable, and if it's not, Maurice goes down a little bit for me personally. 3.5 sounds like a good compromise for now. Next we have Scar, Mastermind. For 6 cost, you get a Storyborn Villain with 5 strength, 4 willpower, 2 lore, and whenever you play this character, chosen opposing character gets -5 strength this turn. I'm gonna go ahead and give him 2.5 out of 5. He has a very high cost. He's kind of in its own right a removal spell because it basically lets all of your characters gang up on one very powerful one. But he's a little bit on the weak side. His willpower is a bit weak. He trades very quickly. I could be wrong on this one. I'm going 2 out of 5 on this one. Next up, we move into the actions with Develop Your Brain. For a 1 cost action, you get to look at the top 2 cards of your deck, put one into your hand, and the other on the bottom of the deck. I'm gonna give this one a 2 out of 5. It's very good, I'm not gonna lie. Card draw is very good, but it's not an advantage, because you're spinning a card to get a different card. And it gets better the later on the game goes, because it lets you find what you need specifically. The problem is it's inkable. You may end up needing to use it to fill out your ink curve. I'm gonna be real, I'm not a huge fan of Develop Your Brain. I would rather pair up Sapphire with more powerful card draw colors. So in that regard, I'm just gonna give it a 2 out of 5. Next up is One Jump Ahead. For 2 costs, it's an action song. Once again, a song that means a character with cost 2 or more can exert to sing this song for free. Put the top card of your deck into your inkwell, face down, and exerted. I 100% bias speaking here. 5 out of 5. I love the ramp archetype, so having more inkwell cards to enable that, I just love it. 5 out of 5 from me. Next up is Let It Go. For 5 cost, you get an action song. Like I said before, song but with the cost 5 or more, and sing this song for free. Put chosen character into their player's inkwell, face down, and exerted. Giving some solid Sapphire credit here, 5 out of 5. Being able to unconditionally remove almost anything is great. You don't really care about ramping them unless you're in a ramp matchup, but you need removal. Sapphire it gets rid of them unconditionally. Don't have to worry about trickless, don't have to worry about specific numbers, just get rid of it. Be careful though when you're targeting shift cards with this, because keep in mind, both parts of it go in. Ramping them for 1 isn't too big of a deal, but getting them 2 ink ahead of you, that could lead to issues depending on what stage of the game you're in. Next up, we're into the items with Coconut Basket. For 2 cost, you get an item that whenever you play a character, you may remove up to 2 damage from chosen character. I'm gonna go ahead and give this one 3 top hats out of 5, mostly because being able to remove 2 damage for basically free, because you're already playing the characters anyway, might as well get a little bit of advantage from them. I would say this is not like super amazing, but considering it's able to be inked, there's not a whole lot of cost associated with it. You play it if you can, and it's good for you. If it's not good for you, just put it in your inkwell and play something that's relevant. And that should be all of the Sapphire cards that we've seen so far. Keep in mind, if I've missed one, this video is going up a little bit later than the other ones. Should be going up next week-ish. So if it's come out, it might have been another card that got released since then, and I just didn't know about it. So I can't really reveal it. I'm not a time traveler. I don't have that magic. I have other magic, not that one. Do you think I covered everything right? Do you think I missed something somewhere? Or do you think I just got everything right? You agree with me? Let me know down in the comments below. And hey, while you're there, go ahead and leave me a like and a subscribe. Lets me know that you like this content, that you might want to see more, and that I'm doing a great job. Anyway, thank you all so very much for watching, and until next time, au revoir!